I seek refuge in God, the all-knowing of us, the accursed Satan. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful, and here we seek help. May peace and blessings be upon Muhammad and his good and pure family. God is a blessing upon Muhammad and the family of Muhammad and hastened his relief. The research in the previous chapters is not complete in the evidence to prove the existence of God yet. We do not repeat even that the dear ones do not take up our time. The first of us is among the most important proofs that begin from the external reality. One of the most important proofs of these is that sometimes we start from the concept to reach what to the reality, and at other times we start from the reality and begin from the external reality, sometimes to silence the actual sublime, to silence the Creator, and the necessary through what you will. And the other is through the cause. What does finality mean by making the existence of God sometimes through subjects and at other times through what? This is the first proof that we want to discuss on this day. It is from the external reality through what are the objects, not through cancelling. We also mentioned that under each category of these proofs there is a group of two proofs. There is no proof. We unite the first proof, but under this category of proofs is the first proof, which is known in my words to the Islamists and Westerners as the meaning of obligation and possibility. Why is this name given when we prophesy that the history of this proof will be over? Why is this called by this name? History of this proof after that. It will become clear what are the pillars of this Barhan that establishes this Barhan, and this evidence is Al-Farabi. Sama later transferred this explanation to Ibn Sini in Ashrat and Non-Ashrat. Sama after that, Albran moved to the words of Al-Ghazali, the author of the Modesty of Sciences, in his book Maqasid al-Falathafa, then in his book Al-Tahafat al-Falathafa, which is criticism. What are the objectives of Al-Falathafa? Then after that, Al-Najj came. We come to Abu Rushda, who criticized the book Tahafat al-Falathafa in his book Tahafat. I will ask you in vain. Here is the history of the issue in the Islamic era. But why did Ibn al-Rushd's translation of Athar into Latin to the Christian West? This proof was transmitted to me. What was transmitted to me in the West? And one of the most important of its scholars whom I adopt. This proof is the thinker or the Christian priest, who is he and Thomas Aquinas with Rough Malab. With my reservation, we said that it is the highest. Some of them may be the exact meaning of the Arabic language, a young man of the Persian language, I hope it is important. And when this proof was spread in Christian Western thought, the purists came from it from among our Western thinkers. Among the most important of them is my condolences, Bernd Russell, and the most important of them is Wa'ida de Vidya as well as Maulana, as well as Reynold de Habburn, and so on. These people began the criticism of this proof, and this is why this proof remains with this Isnbaran, Wajib, and the Inca. What happened to my solace? Naturally. Here should not be missed by the dear ones. It does not occur to you that this proof was stated in the manner of the one, by explaining the one, and in the manner of what one is. No, it may differ from one science to another. But it all revolves around the pivot of what, the pivot of place and obligation. I am of the belief that until we get rid of philosophical, verbal, and other conventions as much as possible, we determine righteousness by the path we do not believe in. Goods. Why this statement is present in everything the others first, but it is in the essence of this approximation and every way I organized it in this way. My condolences in order to make this proof and this evidence appear. It is necessary to answer these following questions. What are the obvious reasons? If we can answer these questions, then we can take the direction of the first question: can the two contradictions come together or not? Second question: could it be something existing for itself or not possible? The third question: can it exist for something that did not exist? That is, it was non-existent and then created it. Can it exist without a cause, or is it not possible? The fourth question: prediction is a good question. Fourth: is it that these existence, our master? Why do you say existence? I say because the proof starts from it, from what of the external reality. If they hypothesize, impose this proof, what is the existence of the external reality? He does not say to Callan, our master, for mine. I said that these existence. I say, considering his hypothesis, this was imposed by the proof, this and this. So we print this hypothesis. Subi. Is there a derivation? Are these existence, this question, a fifth or fourth question? Are they all independent or all not independent, or are some existence independent and others? And his heaven is not independent. The name of the verification, you are asking Majdo Alma, which is intended for independence from the investigations of the question. Now, just the call to ask questions, and then I will answer, meaning no, we will begin to stop at asking one of these questions until I finish. Question 5. Is it plausible that all of these existence are not independent? Because we said in the fifth or fourth question, what? Are they all independent? Or all what? Not independent. Or some and some. Cackle might say that we should choose him. Are they all different and independent? Is this reasonable? Or is it this part? What is it? Here. This out means it's impossible to be all. What is it? He might say God said it could all be paradise. Non-independent, important is the warning in this, and they are existence, O God, they are finite. Non-independent, finish. What is the pebble? Did they impose, or did they impose? Yesterday, we said the most recent topic is the existence of the external reality. So the truth that is established and based on this is that there is an external influence, or that everything in the universe is an illusion or a miracle or something that is amazing, as some of the Kasadai people say. You say that they are weak to say that you do not speak. He says that this is an illusion, and if such a person I see, I see you with the expression of Ibn Sina, what Mulan has slandered them. Ha! Echo it in the fire, so if you learn all of it, this is what this is. This is important, Mulan, about paradise. Learn, Mulan, this is first and second, that after our lives, a conversation with such a person, or we do not have a conversation that does not exist, neither yourself nor ourself. We remember in the above the ills of our karna, so if, then, just give the sources and glory, God willing, they will not review with regard to the verification of objective reality, vary, two ways, one's pride, one saying that it is an intuitive and emotional matter that has not come to pass. For his denial, this is the claim of all the Islamic scholars and the non-Islamic scholars. They blamed Mr. Tabatabai, may God have mercy on him, in his book, The End of Judgment. This is what he says, so we cannot doubt that there is an existence. We narrowed down the meaning of existence. Did he ask that this existent is one? Many of us know it, but we do not know it. He conveyed its meaning. This is every human being. He said, I think, if I exist, it is complete, it remains less. If we accept this principle, then it exists, you think, or do not think if you exist. You can think and not think. If we have this principle, then each and every people can only apply to the beginning. It's up to everyone to think about what. If there is one, it is very full. They established a certain existence. They established this existing one and united us in many ways. Very bored. That's why when you're thirsty you go to the river. Go to what? Water. Why don't you go into the water, see the stone of Mulan? The answer is because water is something and stone what? Something. When you want to get out of this place. And our Lord came out from us. Why are you leaving us? Because it's in the result. This is what we mean by exit. What's the wall? That the cause of what causes it does not cause what causes it. It doesn't cause anything. This first gains the effect of dying. If it does not happen, then it is different whether you leave there or leave what. From it, there are two differences. It is all a concern. The answer is no difference. If you see a car that wants to hit you and stop with a problem, why do you run away from it? The answer is because if you collide with such and that, what? You don't want to shock you, and so, just as the terms and signs are fixed, the realism and the one or many are also fixed. This does not require to research as he claims it is better. We can doubt that he is of good quality and we cannot deny the reality of what he is receiving except that we are proud of the truth. Is he willing? We move on. I am stronger than you. I do not obey snakes. So we hate him or express doubt about him. And if there is any of that, if you find someone who denies or doubts, then he is in the word only a madman. Otherwise, between you and God, if one person doubts, or I say, the whole world and the concern of his glory will live like you. If he differs from you, then between me and him. God is in what they say, doubting or denying, but in doing what, as a group of philosophers said, he said, I am with you, I will go to my library, so we will meet you and deny my causality and my causality. Whoa, whoa. On page 528, he says that knowing the location of the subject to the world is inductive, meaning a posteriori knowledge and a priori knowledge, according to the terminology. Ignoring what Sayyid Tabatabai said, Flass says about a priori knowledge. The trend that Sayyid al-Shahid says is a posteriori knowledge. If we believe in the existence of the established reality of the world, it expresses inductive knowledge, because the word objective reality means that one religion leads issues to another. Now, it is dependent on determination. If we are driven, we assume that our acceptance of objective reality is a priori knowledge, as is the general trend in philosophy, or a posteriori, inductive knowledge, as Sayyid al-Shahid says. So objective reality is fixed, but in this direction, or what? This principle that we derive from the vulgarity of Hasnati to the first question. What is the first question? Can the two vetoes meet or not? We said so that we can get out of the term. Could this book exist at the same time? Non-existent, 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 non-existent or not possible. If someone says yes, good luck, but tell us what. You do not listen to us, we are talking to a person who accepts this objective principle. Then. So if Dammit thirsts for Ta, your thirst meets Ajram. If you do not accept the rule that combines the two contradictions, it becomes impossible for the two contradictions to come together, so your thirst can combine with your lack of thirst. So, for a long time you will drink manna. The difference is whether you are thirsty, hungry, or not feeling well. What do they know? If you are safe, you will become the two sharp ones. He is the sharp one whose dough is combined, and you will become pregnant. It makes no difference whether you are an atheist or a believer when he is astonished, because you say that the sharp person gathers together with a paste that is pure and clean for the harsh, and they present to the sharp person the painful ones from the trap of nothingness, which is from the trap of the guise of faith. Belief in its existence is non-belief. You say atheist, non-belief, in exchange for madness. It would be the existence of Raymond. If you are the one who says, you are salts, they are madness, they are motherhood. If my heart is not shiny, why do you blame her in it? My heart is fine, madness is madness, madness. But we are talking with that person who at least says that it is not possible for the madness to come together with him. It is not possible for existence and non-existence to come together at the same time. It can't be the thing. This is based on authentication. A thing cannot be in need of others for its existence and independent of others for its existence. Do you need something or what? And what is not needed? Nor can it be anything. These are different expressions, until the request is closest to the mind of the honorable listener and viewer. It is not possible for one to be one who is seeking someone else because he exists, or to be one who is seeking someone else for someone else. What armor for real? He cannot be independent, meaning there is a need for others. It exists with the need for something else. He can't. This is our dear independence. When we said independent or non-independent, what does it mean? Is it the entity that exists or it does not exist? He needs others and is not independent. He does not need anyone else, so what? An independent expression and another cannot be combined, for the existence of a thing is conditional on something else. For it to exist and for it not to exist what? Conditional means that it does not combine to be conditional and to be what? At all. Conditional and full. What is the evidence for this depositor? The answer is the evidence. Here you explain it to yourself in your faith and its lack thereof. You say, I put it forward, but I cannot find the most suitable descriptions for any doubt. We say, are we attacking a clear rational issue, and he only thought that the descent was very, very easy. Our condolences, for we are this outpouring that we are judging. We are evaluating it on the basis of my consolation on this pillar. If the first pillar has no basis for this outpouring, it is so dismaying that the impact is being achieved by our insomnia. The first is this proof that the existence of a thing does not combine with non-existence, and in other words, the independence of the existence of a thing does not combine with non-independence, it does not combine for its existence to be in need of others, and it is not possible for the condition to be combined with a clear absolute cause. This mortal question says no before no that it is conditioned that it creates it, but the thing creates itself because it creates it. What other times do we say that the thing is independent of others, and other times we say that it is what is in need of others, but the other itself means that he creates it itself. We say this is not reasonable. Why? Because if he wants for something to exist, it must exist for non-existence to exist, because a thing unless it exists does not exist. If it is non-existent, how can it cope with what must exist? It is supposed that it wants to exist itself, and it is non-existent. He wants it to exist, so it is non-existent, non-existent. So, we require it to exist and for all to be non-existent. What if I say that it is to become a suspect, it will turn well, and this is the role, what it is, and it is for the thing to exist. What for itself? Is Hegmart bored? What is not possible is a disease. Use the term. You say, Zaid, who created him, Omar. Omar does not have to be before him, so that Zaid is a question. And who created Omar? We say, Zaid, we say, it is not possible yet. Why? Because Zaid, the predicate is late, so if they want there to be an age, what must be prior? So, it is not possible for a single thing to be late because it is an effect, and to be prior because it is only what, and so on, then mean, if for itself to create itself, it is necessary for what to exist and what to be non-existent. Listen, let's discuss the second question: can a thing exist itself or not? The answer is not. This is from the second prayer, or the second part of the prayer, the second part of the prayer, to infer the third part, for it is the part of the evil, and it is one of the most important pillars of consolation, and it is not permissible for something to exist. What? Because of you, what? How much do you recommend the requirement? What is the meaning of absolute coincidence? We said that there is something that exists without two causes, and the law of two causes, that if a thing did not exist then it was. Is it possible for a thing to exist without two causes, or what? This is the law of two causes, that every two things that and you are rational in the world of the Anzani. You and I 100 years ago, we existed until the time we existed without two causes, or time with the cause. Which one of them? Did you say that there are two trends, and some try to say this? He says that there is no evidence that every existence did not exist. Then we needed what? Not your reason, but it was nothingness, then origins, and quality. Why? Bilali what? The cat concluded with Darwada this answer: if in an interview with a grandmother like Hishi, there is also a human being, and he is still there and does not come to talk to him or not, he closes the door to the conversation. Why? Because just as your words are not the reason why, because your words are not the reason for his belief, his words are also not a reason for this. Sawa is sorrow. Why did he believe in the truth? I do not know. He says, I searched for evidence that did not prove true. I am a call to prayer. What does an atheist mean? He believed in the law of causality. Mulan. It is not possible to do anything other than this. That is another. Say, I looked for evidence, so it proves to me its necessary existence, or the Creator, or A. You can be created for the natural sciences, or it is not possible, and from here it is presented. Research is the basis of dissent. All of you are consoling. One of my most important principles and rules is the natural sciences. They said, causal means before you are created for the natural sciences. I do not want to accept the heavens. They said, the reason, I do not know, is clear. Hence, this title is presented. Bankruptcy before knowledge. If knowledge came before bankruptcy, ion of them. Bankruptcy before knowledge. If the answer. Some try to alkalize bankruptcy. It is a burden to need for knowledge. They said, this is unbelievably impossible, because all the natural and experimental sciences are based on what is based on the law of causality. It is a rational law. So the world and an experimental law created a little bit today. Mulan's expressions, because some of the exaltation of the names of Katiism are obligatory in a lib or in the lib of the world and the lib of a fringe, between physics and philosophy, whichever one is presented, mola. Physics is the introduction to the face, philosophy, and great figures. Here are some of his names. Here are 5 of them. First, come with us to. In the meantime, there are some of my incapacities. This is important because if someone wants to accept this principle, I will not abandon his research together, because I have introduced premises until he takes a result. So, there is no day of the contingencies of causation and the creation of the law of causation. Chapter 1, page 20, page 25. Chapter 1, Law of Causation and Experience, and this theory is also linked to the principle that is in some way the most general theory in all sciences, which is legal and causal. The direct motivation for this endeavor came from a book with the opposite path, although it was truly hopeful, balanced and wise by all standards, which is the Book of Concepts and Principles in the Natural Sciences. What are its principles and its side? Natural Sciences. In detail, he says, which Hansard Resch put together, and in which he explained that the law of conservation of energy, which is one of the sudden laws in the exact form, is nothing but the law of causality, once in our eyes, but he explains it through a series of ingenious proofs that show that experimentation has preserved it. The sentence cannot be completely refuted by experimentation and experimental sciences. What is the law of causality? Why do we rebel against it? So how can you deny it? The basis of God can be. Deny it except by the law of causality. This means that the natural sciences say there are ways to deny what to the law of causality, and this is the bulk of this application of the law of causality. This is a siege, and there is no isolation after it is filled to my beings, Moulin in detail. We say that the case that we will try to prove says that the law of causality that has been established is the basis of all theorists. This means that you cannot create any pain in the sciences, humanity, the first sciences, natural and experimental, unless the solute is accused of the law of causality. It cannot be proven or observation through experience because it is a paradise in the world or metaphysics. This is metaphysics. Is this not clear? Nor is this for those who say that we will not believe in metaphysics, meaning what is beyond the sensual and experience. Do you not believe in your natural knowledge, its pursuers, and its creatures? Because it is based on the causal principle, this law cannot be proven or observed by experiment because it is a well-known fact. It is already possible that nothing else can improve one of my axioms. The least of the women. Will I tell the organization that the least of the women moans and groans? I did not realize what the causal tonion is. I say, I cannot speak about that. At the very least, I speak. I can speak about, the Moulin of this mind, and this reason is the argument. And on, no less, the hypothetical that there is no knowledge, or there is no Moulin, as in some words are a disease, I answer the names, and because they say what he said, if they are clean, they are abstaining from the least of us. He is determined with 2 adjectives, he knows you, he does not know you. I say, it is not possible for you to combine existence and non-existence. If there were another, poisoned by two different types, I do not know. I say to Ali, but I am now talking about any hypothesis on this mind, which is haste and shame. He would finance the lesser assumption, which does not know whether or not we are weak. I don't know, because some people say that's what they say. Will I sell you when you terrorize the world of the Barzakh? I worry that he doesn't realize what with the two vetoes. I wish I could say that, because what did the world of Barzakh say? Am I talking to a scholar? This world is the son of time, build this minority system, and for this reasoning well, as in the book of the strongest proofs of Dr. John Links in refuting the fallacies of deniers of religion, is a group, and on his minority, Ahmed Hassan Azai, there, on page 4 and 50, he presented this research in two clear ways. He said, which of them comes first? Knowledge is hope. Where is the answer to philosophy? Reason, and reason first, then science, because science and what it produces are reprehensible. What? Then philosophers? The answer says, but as we mentioned above, the blank page means the one who claims to be in the experimental sciences, and we do not accept any philosophical or rational basis that is philosophical in a minority. Wherever they are, he is based in philosophy, and it is also philosophy, but as we mentioned above, the blank page is for a completely open mind and deprived of philosophical precedents. This is what some who study the natural world claim. We decided to turn this blank page into a surah that covers the impossible. This is not possible. This says, I enter the natural sciences and do not do it. First of all, it is possible that the opposite is not correct. I mean, you cannot be created to the natural and experimental sciences. He accepts what before you identify the rational and philosophical rules. The specialist says such and such that it is for this reasoning, hence the reasoning, and from here is Azai, who wants to deny the existence of God through the natural sciences after that. It is not possible, because the natural sciences are linked to the senses, and God is above this, because some of this is closed. Research requires the guidance and contemplation of those who are tired of isolation. He says, who said this man? The sharpness is not based on science. Taft said that when I became an atheist, it did not occur to me that any empirical blame came to me. Why? Because proving the existence of God is linked to the law of causality and natural science, you can deny the law of investigation, but you cannot if I became an atheist on the basis of natural science. So if the first is exaggeration, if you find it, you say to me, what evidence do you say, God does not exist? Natural science says, I know that he did not stand on the premises. Science, then why does he insist on saying that I do not like the faith of the mother, or from it, according to what he wills, a problem with what began, that I am racing, and that is when a commentator wrote that on the letter of the friend God, he mentioned that I do not know, I am an atheist, and I am committed to nothing built on science, but on belief. Leave the mind as it consoled me, leave it. And from here are those who try to deny this law, the law of causation. If you ask them, Medley said, there is no evidence, but I do not free this from those. Lawrence Guth Kananchna from God is something that means he is faithful to causality and does not mean that he believes that this world did not exist and then as if he who created it did not reduce it. He does not need to ask why it was created because he accepts causality and does not accept causality. The lack of expressions like cross being something from God, with a comment by Diogenes, translated by Ghada al-Hulvani, Molla Marsho, from Shurat, such and such. Understanding the expressions, say it carefully, and indeed, it may be necessary for you to become an existing universe, for something to come out, prevented from Lashem, who says, I believe that this universe did not exist. Then what did he find? What is the principle? Its existence means the world is independent of non-independent and vary of no nest is non-independent. Otherwise, if it is independent of place with Duma, it means needing it, not needing. They say, everyone needs a curse, even though it is not independent, but there is no cause for it. He turned, and turned. And on top of that, all the signs suggest that we might be us. It might be that he emerged in this way, meaning out of something from nothing, which, God willing, we denied some time, and in our theological and mystical research between us, we basically concluded that nothingness is not a thing until something comes out of it, and that is why something emerges from it. He said, he was created from nothing. He said, no creation, not from anything, as in the narration. Well, together, Nazha. They brought forward my resurrection. I asked him to turn around and tell him to say this word with determination. It is possible. He says, no, there is no possibility. I say to him, accept what I can do. Is it impossible for me to perform Hajj? Al-Taftak apart from what it is. The fact that we have emerged in this way means that something has come out of nothing. The emergence may have meant a reduction and a beneficiary. He asks himself, what if I am humbled? Why didn't I tell him? No matter. I said it as well. He says, all the signs, throw away all the signs, that we will be in this manner. How can something come out of nothing? He says, no, I cannot say one, for I have highlighted the word, might, here from the Tawhid. He says, I am not obedient. I say, Ahad sins in the word, may. Why are you not obedient? Because we may have this, after this. An adulterer denies the Zababi, but he is unable to reward his reward with it. This helps us in the Tawhid with his statement, because we may never obtain sufficient data to solve this question with a clear solution that is not foolish. I cannot obtain from experience proof of it. We use a vulgar law. How can this profound confusion overtake us, this anchor? What is the psychic entity? This anchor worshiped this anchor. What is only the tendency of man to look for the thing that did not exist? Then he deliberately searched for a reason. That is, he cannot ask why. He cannot ask why he cannot. If he finds the thing that it did not exist, then someone who exists stands before him in silence forever, saying, "Why is this reason?" This is what the one who willed it. This innate reliance in human existence. Why, of course, the atheists or those who they all consider atheism. This foundation accepts them, and for this reason they provide evidence for the denial. Otherwise, if it disintegrates, this is the best evidence that the foundation says, there is a reason, so he wants to provoke, and this is the best evidence that he is a regression. He says, there are two reasons. This is what he says. He says, no, there is no reason, and there is no reason. It is from supplication. They forget it. Are we going to do this? Please guide us because we may never get experimental data on what solved this question. It is a clear and unambiguous solution. It is a question. You are the one who is not saying that perhaps it is even possible for them that where you brought it, he added to my coming. He says, but the fact that the universe is from nothing is a fact indicative of the fact that he says, in relation to me, I will make it less accurate. Good luck, God willing, we will hear and say to you, oh, I am prepared with the stoning of Ad, but as evidence for that, he says, never from here, my dears. Hail Macadam, which we have explained, God willing, tomorrow, with a short footing, we will resume, but let's talk about it from here. A group of thinkers that causality are empiricists said that the theory of mechanics, all of you, denies the law, dragging the law of causality. Fields of knowledge in Zaya describes the structure of the crop, and not the end of it. This is one of the most recent theories, one of the strongest theories, and one of the most uncontested modern theories in the world of work in Zaya. He filled out the theory of, Jano, here is your place. The completeness of this theory is an attempt to base it on it, so that we can implement the two reasons. Come with us to the book, Penetrating the Mind. Jadar Ahmad is proof to this same person. Hi, I see, he has slept, I do not prefer this, Ahmad Hassan al-Tafdil is good. He says the most famous suspicions about the evidence of this causality and the response to it. Why did the evidence of causality have all this initial presence among all people? Because it is a matter of madness, a foundation implanted in the existence of all of this, all of them, their common people and their world, in the issue of the hibernation of the existence of the Creator. Causality or an attempt to overthrow it through me, any theoretical theory, this is me Kankel, how old I am, me Kankel, how much I demolished, what is the causality? My condolences to you. In this article, Austin's account says, have you destroyed the mechanism of causality? This is the most famous and general suspicion of all, and under which most of the other suspicions that they raise fall under. Help the people learn, It is not a mood that is tried and believed that the law of your quantum place is demolishing the law of the heaven of causality and the most important pillar of evidence for the reasons for the existence of God. What is the law of causality? He says that he is on this, and that is because in the form of quantum is one of the most complex powers of the human sciences, it has a great scientific merit. If it were possible that you know the causality in public, these exhibitions would have had a great impact on souls. They called it a field full of confusion about what you are confused about. Look at your place. The word is in a neighborhood in which the most brilliant minds are, so it is no wonder what verse it is used in these rooms, but you should know. I am a scholar. The last of the questions. Keep your mind. How much now? I will give you the address, God willing, tomorrow. Questions of reasoning. Good questions. We are scientists. We can obtain causality and cannot hide it. We accept a little that causality accepts what came before natural science. And the most prominent figures, as we have read, are full of an assertion between physics and philosophy, page 7 of the 20. What did he say? Ha, ha, no knowledge. What did they say? The law of causality is causal, which is the basis of all theoretical science. It cannot be proven or observed to a certain extent by experiment, and this happens, and matter theories are a science experiment in a visitor. Now, you have the right to say that the causal law does not exist. This is a problem. We will not talk about the sources of the causal law for the categories of causal law. This is confusion. I mean, even if we assume that in quantum theories or your quantum place, there is no causality. This is subject to the law or the law is not subject to it. The law does not appear because Dantic did not consider the law to be the law of causality, right? The first problem is the consolation of the second problem, which God Almighty willing. Tomorrow we will establish as much as we can that Mikani Kalkam means our superiority. We fell and said that what is my place, all of you are exposed. What is causality? No, we have begun to know that it contradicts the law of causality, or is it a pity that this I said contradicts the law of causality, or that the theory of my place, all of you, denies some of the aspects of the philosophical law of causality. Eat sentence. Eat him. Did you turn around? We have theorized in your place that denies the origin of the law of causality or denies some of the properties of the law of causality that strengthens it. Philosophy says it and the mind says it will awaken tomorrow. Even if this theory of physics is correct, or this theory of physics does not deny at all what the law is, but rather denies what is some of the law of castration. Pray, O privacy. This, God willing, will come. Praise be to God, Lord of the world.